Some may call her the sister of the Scarlet Devil. Others may think of her as that insane vampire who loves to destroy shit. There are others who may feel sympathetic towards her since she's always in the SDM's basement. I'll simply call her Flandre. Hello, Magi here, and welcome back to another episode of Character Profile, the series where I take an in-depth look at a character from games, print work, fan-related stuff, and anything that could be associated with Flandre will be discussed here. So, without further ado, let's begin the character profile for Flandre Scarlet. Name and their meaning. To start off, we'll be looking at her name. Her full name is Flandre Scarlet. The name Flandre, best pronounced as Flandre, is a modern French term for Flanders, a region which makes out the northern part of Belgium. They speak Flemish, a variety of Dutch. In Dutch, it's pronounced as Vlaanderen. Sure, we'll go with that. Note that the pronunciation of her name in the Japanese goes more along the lines of Flandur, rather than Flander, since her name in katakana was not whatever I'm posting right now, which would have been the more relevant katakana for Flandre, but rather with the vowel after the D extended. Also note that there isn't actually any right or wrong way of how to pronounce the names in non-Japanese languages. Fuck yeah, we take those! And here I was worried I was saying it wrong this entire time after hearing this Flandor stuff. Scarlet refers to the bright color red with a slight of orange and is a variant of Scarlet. As a surname, the middle dot in the middle of her name is used in for a name to show where the next word begins, like mentioned in Rumelia and Alice. In EUSD, she was called Imoto-sama, literally your or her honor little sister of the mistress by Patchley. I actually didn't know Patchley called Flandre that. That's good to know. Character appearance. In this section, we'll be looking at her appearance. In EUSD's official art, Flandre has red eyes and short blonde hair, which is tied into a single ponytail on her left side. Wears a red dress and vest with a pink shirt underneath and socks. Also wears a pink mob cap with a red ribbon attached. She carries a matching wand with her, which might be the mythical Lavatine. Arranged from the back to the tip of her wings are 8 crystals, which are represented in 7 colors: light blue, blue, purple, pink, orange, yellow, light green, and finally light blue again. Perfect for a Christmas tree. How appropriate given the release date of the video. Appearance in games and print work. We're not going to talk all about her appearances she's had over the years. Let's just say it ain't much. Her first appearance would be EUSD. In fact, she's the first thing you see before you can press anything. The main screen and the CD jewel case has the silhouette of Flandre. Aside from that, here she tried to leave the mansion after the events of the Scarlet Mist incident. Rumelia was at Rainbow Shrine at the time. With no other choice, Patchley uses her magic to cause a rainstorm around the mansion so that she wouldn't be able to leave it. Soon enough, the player character makes their way to her. When dealing with Rainbow, the Shrine Maiden finds Flandre. She demands an explanation as to why her sister has been bothering her at the shrine. They decide to have a Damaku battle and Rainbow eventually emerges victorious. Flandre appears to calm down afterwards, and you wouldn't want an angry Flandre. When meeting with Marissa, the magician introduces herself as Rainbow, but Flandre sees through the play. Apparently, she's aware of the magician's identity. Hard to pass off as a shrine maiden with Marissa's type of clothing. After Marissa defeats her, they trade quotes from a certain book adapted to fit their current situation. Her last game appearance as of this recording is Shoot the Bullet. Here, her spell cards were photographed by Aya. She's in the extra stage 1 and 2 as the boss. In the print works, she's gotten a few more appearances, but that's not saying much. Her first appearance would be in Bohemian Archive in Japanese Red. In April 2006, Aya reports on a strange explosion of a meteorite above Gensokyo. She learns that Flandre was the one who destroyed it, but becomes increasingly confused as Flandre explains she destroyed it by squeezing the eye of the meteorite in her hand. Yeah, we're gonna have to explain this shit down the road. Anyway, even more perplexing information is given by Flandre's older sister, Rumelia. Apparently, it was planned that the meteorite was supposed to be aimed at the SDM and that Flandre would destroy it. Inexplicably, Aya ends the interview with a report that spring has begun. In her follow-up, Aya interviews Flandre about the explosion and Remelia's information. Flandre gives the same explanation for how she destroyed the meteorite, and when questioned says that her sister just acts like she knows what's happening. Remelia interrupts, for which Aya is thankful, and confirms that what Flandre said was true, insinuating that Aya just can't understand while giving strange information about the meteorite's source. The fact that they had to destroy a meteorite to begin with sounds fucking weird. And that's saying something given the series I'm covering. Surprisingly, she shows up in Inaba of the Moon and Inaba of the Earth. In chapter 9 of the series, Raisin and Tay get lost in the STM and end up being chased by what looks like to be the silhouette of Flandre. She chases the two down a corridor until Tay and Raisin went through a door and got back to the party group, thus getting away from Flandre. Yo, if that were me, I might have died from a heart attack after seeing that silhouette. Her next print appearance is in Forbidden Scrollery. She only has 2 cameos here. On chapter 3, one of Flandre's wings were seen poking out during Reimu and Marissa's search for the Inenra, some smoke shit or whatever. On chapter 7, she was shown looking at the Tupai with Remelia after it was captured. Still an ugly ass pet, but to each their own. Her last print appearance as of this recording is Strange Creator of Outer Worlds, Volume 2, Profile Section, Cross Review Section. Personality. Flandre is normally nice and quiet. She was described as rather nuts, and although she doesn't often get angry, she is quite strange, which makes it difficult for others to understand her. In Bohemian, it's suggested that she isn't very good at talking to other people, though she can get rather sassy and uppity when talking with her sister. Her friendship towards humans is very low, which is saying something considering she hasn't seen any until Reimu Marissa! Occupation/jobs. Flandre has no occupation unless you want to consider being Remelia's sister or the sister of the Scarlet Devil as one of them. General information/backstory. In this section, we'll be talking about Flandre's species, which is a vampire. If you've watched my Remelia profile, it's practically copy-paste. It makes sense given their siblings, but to make the profile complete, I must go over this for Flandre as well. Vampires in Gensokyo are a young but powerful yokai species, considered to be a type of devil. A sub-branch of devils, if you will. They possess a far broader range of abilities than most yokai, including Oni level strength and Tengu level speed, but also have a far broader range of weaknesses. Vampires in Gensokyo show no particular aversion to the Christian cross, though they can still be harmed by spiritual attacks like any yokai. They do, however, show a vulnerability to roasted soybeans, presumably a result of being identified with Oni. To refer back to the Remelia profile, it's due to the kanji. If you're looking at the kanji for vampire and you see this third one, it's the same kanji Oni has, so that's why they're identified with Oni. While sunlight has the power to destroy them, they can survive brief exposures and even travel around a day, as long as they remain in the shade. They also forfeit growth and maturity and are thus biologically immortal. Clearly the case when both sisters look like children, with wings and shit. Keyword on wings when it comes to Flandre. This next section will be dedicated to the weaknesses the vampires in Gensokyo have. Again, copy-paste from Remelia. 2 weaknesses those in Gensokyo and our world have is sunlight and water. In Bohemian, Patchouli puts forth the consideration that perhaps these weaknesses are for the sake of camouflaging their other big weaknesses. Moreover, Remelia likes fermented soybean because they're not roasted. She also dislikes Patchouli Setsuban festivals because merely picking up the roasted soybeans burns her, and she forbids anyone from throwing any at her. Getting shit thrown at ya, it's never fun, so you can't blame Remelia here. It's unknown if this is because of a shared weakness to roasted soybeans or if the soybeans were simply too hot. With regards to weaknesses, in reality, whatever damage is inflicted by their aforementioned regeneration ability, they are simply able to return back to how they were originally, and thus in order to do vampire extermination, but it doesn't inflict a fatal wound on the first try, then there's no meaning. Thus the case where they don't become weaknesses are not few. Additionally, in Touhou, the general weaknesses of vampires have become as following. Whether or not it is because of the nature of the effect, or if it is for some other reason, Remelia seems to be strong to crosses. Also, Flandre uses crosses in her spell cards, and Aya wonders if they are immune to crosses in Shoot the Bullet. In relation to flames, when Remelia touched the rock and when not been told to in Silent Sinner, her wrist was set ablaze and burnt to black by Patchouli's spell, but was able to recover in an instant without worry, Before considering how flames could have purification power, they've also got the ability to inflict more or less damage physically, but it doesn't seem that in Touhou it isn't possible to recover from damage by flames. Also in Strange, Rumelia claims that not even the fires of hell could burn her body. If that's the case, Flandre would be set as well. While this could be a manner of speech relating to this to what happened in Silent Sinner, there's a possibility of vampires being highly resistant to fire. A common thing vampires hate is garlic. Rumelia hates garlic, but this doesn't seem to be related to a weakness as a vampire anywhere in the series. Just because she hates it doesn't mean she's weak. Same can be said for Flandre as well. In Perfect Memento, since Akyu seemed to be saying that the knives that Sakyo possesses are silver knives for exterminating vampires, it seems that there exists the general idea that Touhou's vampires are weak to silver. In relation to how Rumelia enters and exits the Hakare Shrine with an invitation, although it is possible to interpret her to be because Reimu has invited her before, but clearly there was an instance where she was an invader, breaking to Aente in Imperishable, and therefore this weakness does not exist in Touhou. Regarding the death by beheading part, since Perfect Memento stated that she will recover back to normal even if everything other than the head has been blown up, the situation is that it is unrelated to Rumelia. Some of Rumelia's other weaknesses are sardine heads and shattering holy branches. And if Flandre is indeed weak to these as well, then I guess I have something to defend myself with. Titles. Let's look at titles. Given her few appearances, we're not going to get much. We have Sister of the Devil and Diabolic Wave. Yeah, have fun with that. Possessions, if any. Funny enough, compared to her older sister, she does have something to talk about here. Points for Flandre here. In her hand, she possesses an object that looks like a crooked clock needle, sometimes thought to be lavatine. This is a prominent peculiarity associated with Flandre, in which the name is derived from her second spell card, Taboo, Lavatine. It shares its name with the sword, one in some versions, of Loki, a Norse god known for causing mischief. Loki, the prankster, I think anyway. This sword/wand is used by the fire giant Sart in Ragnarok, the Norse equivalent of the apocalypse, to burn down the whole world except for one safe haven. As if her powers, which we'll be talking about soon, wasn't fucking broken enough, the idea of Flandre's item is based on it is just overkill, you ask me. She also possesses unusually peculiar wings as mentioned, as irregular shape unlike those of any living creature, yokai or ghosts, or even to a vampire's typical bat-like wings, or even organic matter. Reimu even said, I doubt she can fly with those wings. Concerning this statement, Akyu noted that there are plenty of those in Ginsoku who can fly without wings. True, look at all the playable humans, no wings yet they can fly. Ability/powers. We're now in the ability/power sections. This is gonna be a juicy one, alright? While it is obvious as a vampire, Flandre possesses superhuman capabilities just like Rumelia, such as enhanced physical strength, with the destructive power of Oni and the nimbleness of Tengu, as well as a vampire's bodily and regenerative ability. She can swing an oversized sword, though not as quickly as she would like to. Yeah, chill there, Cloud. Since she doesn't know the proper way to attack humans, she is unable to go easy on them and blows them away without a trace. That's not fun. Unless you got those sardine heads and maybe garlic, then you're good. Flandre's main power is destroying absolutely anything and everything. Very cut and dry as compared to Rumelia's ability with Fate. Flandre can destroy anything she wants, which is truly broken as fuck, with no real weaknesses. By moving the supposed eye of the object where the tension is highest, and by attacking this eye, she's able to destroy the target. She's able to move the eye of anything into the middle of her hand. Then she pours her power into it, or in other words, she crushes the eye and unconditionally destroys the target with just a squeeze. Not pleasant at all. She states that everything has an eye and that she has those eyes in her hands. She destroyed a meteor with a single hand without touching it, where Flandre stated that she went squeeze and it went boom. The usage of ability was never shown other than in Bohemian. Everything that's made for her to play with ends up broken, which may mean why she doesn't have any playmates, to which it's recommended to never meet with her. With an ability like that, plus being a vampire, it's no fucking wonder she doesn't got shit to play with. Another interesting ability she has is the ability to clone herself. Flandre is able to clone herself as seen in one of her spell cards, where she creates 3 clones that help her in the battle. The clones attack as they like, which could mean they're able to think independently to some grade. It's in the category slave type, so they're under the command of the original Flandre, which is understandable. Music. Given her lack of appearances, this is not going to be a long section as well. She has 2 tracks, her extra stage theme and boss theme. Her extra stage theme is the Centennial Festival for Magical Girls. Her boss theme, and perhaps the most famous when it comes to Touhou, is You and Owen Was Her. Pretty impressive, considering this is the first and last time you actually hear it in the series. Gameplay. Well, we could look at spell cards? Spell cards. Since Flandre didn't have shit when it came to gameplay, we're going to have to pad this out with her spell cards. And that's not really much since we've only seen her twice in the canon games. Since she only appears in the extra stage, we don't have to worry about the spell cards having 4 different ranks, as the extra stage have their separate difficulty. Her first spell card is called Taboo, Cranberry Trap. Her second spell card is called Taboo, Lavatine. Her third spell card is Taboo, Four of a Kind. Her fourth spell card is Taboo, Kagome Kagome. Her fifth spell card is Taboo, Maze of Love. Her sixth spell card is Forbidden Barrage, Starbolt Break. Her seventh spell card is Forbidden Barrage, Kata Dioptric. Her 8th spell card is called Forbidden Barrage, Clock That Takes Away the Past. Her 9th spell card is Secret Barrage, and then will there be none? Her 10th spell card is QED, Ripples of 495 Years. Now these next spell cards are not from EUSD but from Shoot the Bullet. Her first spell card in that game is Taboo, Forbidden Fruit. Her second and last spell card to this date is Taboo, Forbidden Games. Well, at least Flandre didn't retain her sister's weird ass naming ways, that's for sure. Relationships. Currently, there have not been many portrayals of her relations other than to her older sister, But since it has been stated that she has few friends even among the yokai of the SDM, and spends most of her time in isolation, she probably does not have very favorable relations with other residents. No shit! Being in a basement for as long as Flandre tends to bring results like that. Right off the bat, we have to talk about her older sister first. Flandre Scarlet is Flandre's older sister. Flandre is stated to respect her older sister, and Flandre cares for Flandre as shown where she is considering getting her a good tutor in Imperishable, but it's unknown how often the two interact. I would have been down to see Kane teaching Flandre. Perfect Memento states that it's rare, but not non-existent, to see Flandre and Flandre together. The only times that they're depicted together is in their cameo in Forbidden Scrollery Chapter 7, where they're looking at the pet Tupai, and in Bohemian, which also shows that Flandre will at least allow Aya to interview Flandre in the first place. The interview shows that although Flandre might respect her older sister, it's to the extent you expect a snarky child to. She is willing to outright state when she thinks Flandre is just spouting bullshit, at which point Flandre comes in with a comment that she shouldn't be talking about her older sister like that. Her treatment of her older sister became harsh, and she even called Flandre that person. Well, that's the most that we got for the two siblings. I can guarantee you the depth of relationships Flandre has is gonna go downhill from here. Not much is known about Flandre's relationship with the other residents as she spends most of her time in the basement. Patchouli is aware of Flandre's existence and the need to keep her confined to the mansion, as Amelia noted Patchouli was probably causing a rainstorm around the mansion to keep Flandre from getting out. Presumably, Sakya also serves Flandre along with Amelia, but is not stated, implied, or depicted in any official work. Someone prepares Flandre's food, which are human prepared in the shape of pastries and other pleasant things, but it is never stated to be Sakya. I can't imagine the fairies handling that, but who knows? It's unknown what kind of relationship Flandre has with Mei Ling, the fairy maids, Koakumar, or the recent hobgoblins. Although the Shrine Maiden promises to come play with her every so often during the dialogue in EUSD, the two have not been together since then, so it is likely she just said that to get her to calm down. You could have at least tried, you know, Reimu? Her conversation in EUSD leaves an impression that the two are quite friendly. However, Marissa commented, "Sometimes when I sneak into the SDM, I run into the little sister. I had to slip by without drawing her attention, but after going through all that to get into the place, I was hoping I wouldn't run into her." Can't exactly blame Marissa for saying that. I can't imagine it would be easy dealing with a powerhouse like Flandre. Fun/interesting facts. Surprisingly, given her very few appearances, she actually has a lot of shit to talk about when it comes to this section. Who would have thought? Anyway, Flandre is one of the few characters to not appear in the background during Hopeless, which would relate to her lack of leaving the SDM. Assuming her birth year by calculating backwards in the Gensokyo timeline, she's supposed to be born around 1508 AD, but the canonness of this assumption is unknown. If it were true, it would place Flandre and Flandre at a 5-year difference. Flandre's spell card Secret Barrage and Then Will There Be None is a reference to an Agatha Christie's novel. The name of the novel is And Then There Were None. It's more speculative, but still worth noting that the science fiction genre saw Philip K. Dick write a novel called Counterclock World in 1967. It could have been referenced by Forbidden Barrage, clock that ticks away the past. Frederick Pohl wrote The Gold at Starbow's End in 1972. This one as well could have been referenced by Forbidden Barrage, Starbow Break. On the end of the Lavatine that Flandre is seen holding in Shoot the Bullet is very different compared to the Lavatine that Flandre is seen holding in EUSD. In the Shoot the Bullet one, the Lavatine is more bent while the EUSD version is a little more curved. I've talked about Kokusa being a person who tends to break the fourth wall more than I'm used to. Flandre might be the OG gal in the Windows canon. She used the phrase, "That means you can't use it, continue," to Marissa. Now if that ain't a blatant breaking of the fourth wall, then I don't know what is. The crystals on her wing look somewhat similar to the crystals shown on Patchouli's spell card: Fire, Water, Wood, Metal, Earth Sign, Philosopher's Stone. Huh, holy shit, they kinda do. Strangely, if one uses a bomb against her in EUSD's extra, she's shown to have normal wings in bat form. I want to say it's a fuck up and Zoom forgot to draw in Flandre's crystal wings, but who knows? Maybe Flandre does have legit wings when she transforms. Time for the motherload of information for Flandre. Anyway, we're going to do a dissection of Flandre, specifically her being trapped in the basement, or lack of, to be specific. Now do understand, I talked about this back in my second interesting Touhou facts, but I feel it can be involved here as well. Understand this is a speculation slash theory of Flandre either being imprisoned in the SDM or not. This is also important as it'll also tie very well to the next section, which will be fan-on stuff. Let's start this bad boy. This section will be about if Flandre was indeed locked up. We know that Flandre has lived in the match for a bloody long time. It's said that Flandre has been locked up underground for 495 years, but is that, legit? For now, I'm going to present the facts that would make you think she would be locked up. All facts will be based on canon material, obviously. In her profile, it states that she usually isn't taken out of the mansion, but she also doesn't try to leave as well. During the extra stage, Flandre wanted to go outside, but Patchley made the mansion rain to keep Flandre inside. In Reimu's route, Flandre says she hasn't gone out once in 495 years. I gotta say, Flandre has to be second place when it comes to being a NEET. First place gotta go to Kaguya. Alright, tangent aside, with Marissa, she says she's been resting in the basement for about 495 years. Again, in Reimu's route, Flandre said that she's only seen human in the form of a drink. Ugh, that's not something I want to hear. And Remilia, in opening of the extra story of EUSD, Remilia had forgotten about her existence. Nice job on remembering your only fucking sibling there! While the facts no doubt mention about being in the basement for that long, it also doesn't mention anything about being locked up either. These next facts show that Flandre might not have been imprisoned like we thought. In Bohemian and Perfect Memento, she's at least wandered around the mansion. She even went out to the garden in Bohemian. Compared with what I stated earlier, the transition would have been too quick. No shit, if you're locked up for 495 years, that would be the case. After EUSD, Flandre's personality doesn't go through a sudden change, and her appearances in Bohemian and Perfect Memento doesn't reflect Remilia and the others have freed her from a lockup type deal. AQ mentioned that she might have been locked up, but she also notes that Flandre is rumored to be a shut-in. The NEET train is going real ham here. Again in Perfect Memento, an anonymous reports seeing her through a window during an outside event. Flandre's also made some appearances as well in Forbidden Scrollery. She's seen in both Chapter 3 and 7. After giving all this information, it's possible that Flandre was never locked up in the first place, as many of the community may have assumed when first learning of Flandre. Based on my personal experience with Flandre in the fandom, when I was new to the series, I always assumed she was locked up because of all the artworks and doujin works. But given the amount of Touhou lore I've been learning over the years, it's not as simple as that. There is evidence for both sides, so I'll let you guys discuss that. Fan-on stuff. We're now in the fandom territory, and this is where Flandre shines the most. I'm not for sure if I should be happy or saddened from that fact. Oh well, let's just deal with it. Flandre has not made many appearances in the series. No fucking way. But maybe because of her personality and the way she looks and acts, she's become a very popular character. Top 10, baby. One reason would be because of her theme music, You and Owen Was Her. It is particularly famous and is often used in mad videos, and for a time introduced many as newcomers hoi hoi on Nico Nico to Touhou. Furthermore, the arrangement Final Savage Sister Flandre S in the album Touhou Strike by Cool and Create seems to have been mistaken by many to have been the original music. Again, a personal anecdote thrown in, I thought Flandre's theme mixed with this track was indeed Flandre's real theme. Let me play you the remix track that has tricked so many newcomers. Speaking of Flandre's theme, it's arguably one of the most, if not the most popular track. From 2014 to 2017's Touhou popularity poll, its ranking was second, first, and first. So it looks like You and Owen Was Her is doing something right. We have a fun fan-in part called Big Sister Mei-ling. In fanworks, Mei-ling seems to be some sort of big sister or playmate to Flandre, rather than Remelia. In comedy works, it can be to throw Mei-ling in the way of more danger. In more serious ones, her laid-back approach to her job and uncontrollably friendly nature make her a natural choice for reaching out to an otherwise isolated Flandre. Many fanworks depict the two going out of their way to help each other on numerous occasions. Pretty sweet, I gotta say. There's speculation that most of the extra stage bosses in the Windows era up to UFO was based, in some way, on Flandre. I gotta admit, I was not ready for that. There are also depictions in fan art with Flandre and some of the other extra stage bosses with her. Here are the following reasons. Koichi is one of the most popular ones. This stems from the fact that they both possess greater powers than those of their sisters, Satori and Remelia. Also, Flandre and Koichi are the younger sisters to their sister, who both own a mansion. Koichi was one I already knew. Some fans think Koichi's ability would make it easier for her and Flandre to communicate. Depiction with Nue is also common. This stems from the fact that Nue's theme, Heian Alien, sounds similar to Flandre's theme to some. Depictions with Moku has dropped with popularity due to the two above, but are still common. The name Moku means Scarlet, younger sister, and according to Zune, it can also mean Paint Me Red, but it has no connection to Flandre. Paint Me Red. That can't be a good thing. Another reason for the pairing, platonically usually, is that Moku is immortal and has little to fear from Flandre's destructive strength. Immortality would save you from Flandre's powers. Depictions with Suiko are rather uncommon. The only known relation between Suiko and Flandre is that Suiko also has a spell card to multiply herself. Now this is the first time I've heard of it. Now what does McDonald and Touhou have in common? Nothing, except for this part. Flandre has been commonly shown with Ronald McDonald in a crossover due to her theme being remixed, which the so-called McRoll has been the first contact for Touhou for thousands of Western internet users. I remember seeing that when I first started Touhou. Good times, good times. People referring to You and Owen Was Her as the McRoll / Ran Ran Do song is a sore point among many longtime Touhou fans. Can't vouch on that as I still consider myself a newbie to the series. In addition to this, videos with her versus Ronald are common, more towards a Western fanbase based on the customizable fighting game Mugen. Crazy enough, her lack of appearance is considered an important fact to this. Even when compared with a lot of characters in the fanbase, Flandre's appearances in fanworks are limited, likely due to be her limits on movement as her only appearances is within or around the SDM. The number of appearances in-game and within print work is average compared with many other characters, although when grouped with other characters from EUSD, excluding mid-bosses, her appearances do appear to be limited. Another factor will be her high, hardly restrained power, as giving her playable in any accurate sense would make her overpowered. Though in fan games, most go about giving her a glass cannon build, giving her low defenses or other flaws to offset her massive power or attack ratings. Also, she may be shown as a one-off boss, simply having a cameo or having a small reference. While she's popular as fuck, the struggle is real to show up more often in doujin works. Strangely, some fans have come up with the idea that Flandre has become a PC-98 character who has disappeared from the series, like Mima and Shinki, due to Flandre not making many appearances and because EUSD was not released far from Mr. Square. Wow, now that's something alright. Although it is considered senseless by the majority, some fans believe this is due to the issue between fans and Zune occurred in the second Touhou Sei Moi tournament where Flandre won over Suika, and Zune posted a rough drawing of Suika that didn't become open to the public, with a message saying, "Don't get defeated by a little sister that hasn't even reached the age of 500, which caused a fuss among some fans in both sides. Wait, What? A fuss? From fucking what? Flandre beating Suika? Zoom writing that thing? The bloody hell! Let's look at some miscellaneous stuff. It has been speculated that her wings are artificial and that she fashioned them herself and then attached them to her body. One source of this is probably due to Reimu saying that she was unable to fly with those wings in their unusual, unnatural appearance. According to Fanon, she may have lost her original wings or been born without them. I'd like to think she fashioned them, as losing her original wings sounds painful, or being born without them. Some artists go about giving her bat form those wings, despite her bat form having normal wings in EUSD, which is understandable. Her wings have caused some artists to have her be alongside Marks from Kirby Superstar, who has similar wings in his bat forms. I had to look up this Marks character, and yeah, I can totally see why. In some fanworks, the crystal on her wings are sometimes shown to be storage for magic power. That sounds pretty legit right there. A common meme regarding Flandre is Flan Chan oof oof, since many people attribute the slightly sinister laugh oof oof to Flandre, as well as the fact that her name is commonly affectionately abbreviated Flan Chan. Also, some fans will simply shorten Flandre's name to Flan. Fair enough, I'll just stick with Flandre. For some unknown reasons in fan work, Flandre is shown to be a very professional artist. This would be due to being locked away and having nothing better to do. There was one occurrence where Flandre drawn the map of the world through bedwetting, while Chimino drawn a rubbish version of Reimu Hakare. With all the free time, might as well do something productive. In many fan works, Flandre is shown to have one or two different personalities, or possibly a bipolar one. One is a personality based on her appearance, being very childish, and the other is a super sadistic and violent, mass murder-like personality, based on her possibly accumulated hate of the years trapped in the mansion. However, this is mostly because Flandre destroys things, humans or yokai, without knowing the meaning of it, and because she had never learned how to attack things properly. I swear, if I had $1 every time I had seen either of those depictions, I'd be a fucking rich man. In more recent fanworks, some have tried giving Flandre a more complex personality that may mix some of those two types along with other aspects or complexes. This may be due to them being more aware of her bohemian article, which she's shown to be neither of the two above. Sounds like those people did some research on Flandre. Maybe because of the uniqueness of the phrase Imo-to-sama, many fans use this to refer to her. But in canon, it has only been used by Patchley in Marissa's extra story in EUSD. How common it is used by other residents is doubted. Most of the characters call the others who haven't appeared yet in the game by their title or such indirectly, so they wouldn't reveal the names for their appearances. Perhaps this was the case here too. After seeing so many fanworks using that title, it's hard to distinguish that away from her. Flandre has become a favorite for people to cross over with the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character, Kira Yoshikage, or to be more exact with his stand, Killer Queen. Its power being able to turn anything it touches into a bomb or create invulnerable heat seeker bombs. The destruction level and similarity of this stand has drawn people to put the two together. Bombs are invulnerable heat seeker bombs. Yep, sounds just as deadly as Flandre. Pairings. You'd think with her few appearances in canon and average amount of fanon that her pairings would be small. Well, you'd be so wrong about that. The first to start off is Kitsokyo's favorite magician, Marissa and Flandre, or Fura Mari. Upon defeating Flandre in EUSD, Marissa suggests for Flandre to get married, with Reimu for example. Way to throw the shrine maiden under the bus. At times, fans will couple the young vampire with Marissa instead. Actual Flandre and Reimu pairing is very uncommon, almost never seen, though the latter is still the one who gave her the hint. The phrase Furimari ga watashi no jinsei, Furimari is my vitality, is commonly used to declare support for this pairing. You're gonna need all the vitality to deal with Flandre here. The next will involve the gatekeeper, Flandre and Mei Ling or Mei Fura. The pairing can be depicted in several ways, but most often seen with Mei Ling caring for Flandre in a motherly fashion, though Fanon tends to take this further. Additionally, the two are seen as colorful characters, due to the nature of Mei Ling's rainbowish spell cards and Flandre's rainbow wings. The phrase Mei Fura wa Kibo no Niji, Mei Fura is the rainbow of hope, is commonly used to declare support for Mei Fura. Quite the positive saying. Flandre's next pairing will involve her sister, Vermilion and Flandre or Magiftw, the two Scarlet sisters and most known vampires in the series. It's not hard to be the most known vampires when you're the only one there! We don't speak of Kurumi or Muse from Seiho. Why have one little sister when you can have two? Koishi and Flandre are Koei-Fura. Flandre and Koishi are both EX bosses and both younger sisters of their loving older sister, Vermilion and Satori. A few fans suggest that Koishi is the one visiting Flandre to play with or having a relationship since their older sisters are busy with their servants. The phrase Koei-Fura while Ore no id break, Koei-Fura is my id break, is commonly used to express support for this pairing. OP sisters unite! Next into the list will require a maid's assistance. Sakya and Flandre are Saku-Fura. They are both residents of the SDM and this is sometimes seen alongside Remy Saku, although there's probably no other reason for this pairing. With Flandre as powerful as she is, only the strongest could pair with her. Flandre and Chiruno or Chiru-Fura. There is nothing connecting the two, but both are seen as childish sometimes, so they are also commonly depicted as being playmates. The next person to pair with Flandre is someone who can't really die. Moku and Flandre are Moku-Fura. Moku's name could mean Scarlet, younger sister, or paint me red. Flandre is the younger sister of Vermilia and both are EX bosses. This pairing was quite popular before pairings with Koishi and Nue arrived. Flandre's next pairing will involve another magician. Patchouli and Flandre are Pachi-Fura. There is probably no reason for this pairing other than the fact that they're both residents of the SDM, and of course aesthetic reasons. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. With it being released on Christmas, I want to say Merry Christmas to you all and a happy holiday. And if you're not happy with that, then you can just shut the fuck up. When making this episode, I wanted to do a little something special, so why not a character profile? And Flandre was not a bad choice due to her short appearance, meaning this would be a shorter episode, but after recording this, I'm kinda doubting that. At the very least, it was completed on time, which is important. Regardless, which facts about Flandre was your favorite? Were you impressed at how OP her ability to destroy anything was? Do you think Flandre is trapped in the basement or is able to move freely in the mansion? And were you surprised at all the pairings Flandre has, considering her lack of appearance? If you guys enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and subscribe, or else Flandre might pop me, and I'll certainly be dead after that. Either way, this is Magi and thanks again for watching.